Whose game is it?
Alabama! To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo!
Here comes Alabama.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's not Tuesday, it's Tuesday early in the day. We might all be a little delusional after the way we just lost to a subpar Michigan team. So what does that really tell us about our damn squad? Did they really live up to the potential? Hell no, but we'll get into that in a minute. All right, listen. Let's just go ahead and get into it. I got JT with me today. I got C. Stephen M. Smith. I got Coach Smoke Dixon, and I got Herb, baby. Listen, man, let's just cut to it. Let's get right to the most important part of this. How did our offensive play calling look so damn atrocious from the word go? Smoke, I'll start with you.
How? Marvin, you use the word delusional. I think you're delusional if you thought this wasn't going to happen. What made you think that from week 1 to the last game of the season is going to change?
Right, but given the circumstances, we know it was raining early in the game. We understand what we're working with. You know, we're down one running back, but we still have enough back. But still, the play calling was atrocious. Let's look at the last drive, for example.
Okay.
Listen, we're sitting here. We have the ball with a minute and some change to go with 2 timeouts, and we're on the inside the 20, and we're still throwing the ball. Why are we not running the ball to bleed the clock? Why did we pass the ball 4 straight times to give up the game? Like, the play calling was atrocious. I mean, did I miss something, JT?
I'm with you. We talking play calling, man. I think that now everybody's going to allude to the Milroe with the fumbles. I'm with you. You couldn't hit some guys open, too. I'm with that, man. But we still had a chance to win the game here at the end. And I believe when you look at this, man, we could have drew up some better play calls, especially that last one, man. You know they're about to bring pressure. It's 4th and 10. Why are you sending everybody to the end zone? We can get a first down on the 5. What are we doing? Like, why are we not giving Milroe a quick out route? Like, we know he's been in trouble. Why are we not?
Yeah, you know what he does with quick out routes. That's
confused.
Why.
Well, I get it.
Absolutely know what happens on quick out routes.
But this is where you call that timeout, and you're like, hey, Milroe, I don't care what it is, dog. You're about to have him slide through right here, pop him here. That's our best shot. I don't know what we were doing, man. They were bringing pressure. You know, like you just said to start the show, we lost to a subpar team here, man. What does that tell us about ourselves? I mean, I don't know, man.
Hey, Marvin, let me. So, all right. So, I get that everyone except Gerald is really frustrated.
I'm not even frustrated right now, Gerald. I'm not frustrated at all. You know why I'm not frustrated? Because this has been a build-up to this. And I've been saying it since everyone was talking about we got shafted when we didn't get to the playoffs. I said, boo, BS. We got what we deserved. And clearly, we didn't get what we deserved. We should have been in Shreveport. Bring back the Independence Bowl, okay? Let's just call it what it is, all right? That was piss poor. And you can't say, well, we were down half our roster like Florida State last year. You had the starting quarterback. You had a full roster of starters, a full company. You just pissed it down your leg. You showed the world who you truly are when you had a chance to make a statement again to say, hey, maybe they got this wrong. But no, you proved the committee 1,000% correct. Stephen?
Yeah.
Look, it ain't even no Shreveport Bowl, Marvin. They should have been in the watered-down Collard Greens Bowl. That's what they should have been in. Watered-down Collard Greens Bowl. Because watching this, I'm looking at so many things. I'm looking at not just the play calling. I'm looking at offensive line. Where are you guys? I mean, the whole 57 Pritchett got worked like a Thanksgiving turkey over and over and over and over.
Are you talking about for this game or this year?
The whole season, but especially
so it should be under, like, you guys thought you're gonna be Michigan. Did you feel like this game was gonna go in another direction?
I felt like we had a shot coming into the game, but again, you actually have to show up because again, we knew Michigan was down a lot of their starters. Mm-hmm. So, you know, a lot of those guys opted out of playing this game. So we were in a position to potentially win this game. But
you played against a backup. You played against the backups and you got your face busted up.
That's what I'm saying. So, and you look at the way Michigan's defensive coordinator, he came out and straight out schemed, and that Michigan defense outplayed Alabama's offense. Alabama's offensive line still hadn't found an answer for them damn pressures Michigan was bringing to their asses. I have never seen a quarterback run for his life so much in my damn life. I'm wondering, did he sleep with one of his offensive lineman girlfriends or something? Did he do something to piss him off? Because I've never seen such piss poor performance.
I knew Michigan's defense was going to come with it because the DC is the real deal DC. I knew Michigan's front was going to come with it, but the fact that they're down 4 to 5 to 6 first-round picks off that defense and still giving you what, bro? And still give you a 3-piece with 2 biscuits, a fry, and a drink, and they down 8 or 9 of they dudes.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It was ugly all the way around. C-Sheep, when you looked at this game, what are your thoughts on it initially? And let's look at specifically how we opened the game. I think we went, 4 plays with 3 turnovers? How the hell you couldn't beat the West Side Raiders? What?
That was complete garbage, Marvin, to answer your question. That was complete garbage. And I'm trying to figure out how different was that from our sorry game against Oklahoma. I mean, the main thing that I could say about this game is that I believe that our defense played well pretty much throughout the entire. I mean, we had some plays where we could have stopped the run better, and to me that kind of goes to play calling. And I noticed a couple guys didn't finish their tackles in certain cases, but honestly, our defense kept us in that game. We want to talk about the coaching, which the offensive play calling sucked, of course, and then also the O-line, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But Milroe takes some of that blame as well, because I really get tired of these Milroe cheerleaders and people that want to sit up here and act like he's their little girlfriend. Call her for what it is. He sucks sometimes. It was pathetic to me. This would have been the perfect game to redeem yourself, Milroe. Like, I wanted to see him have pretty much the best game that he's had since he's been at Alabama. Like, I honestly, to be honest, and maybe this could have been, wishful thinking, I thought that we were going to blow them out. That's what I thought, that Milroe was going to come in and show this team something that we haven't seen before, and we didn't do it. We had wide open receivers. That's why Bernard kept getting frustrated with him, literally in his face, yelling at him, call her for what it is. Like, we have to stop playing these games. That's why we did what we did this entire season, because we want, and it's a collective failure, but we can't just call out the O-line and the coaches and not say anything about Milroe. I mean, it just is what it is. So.
We have a
and real quick, just the super chat.
$4.99. I know the OC and O-line get some blame, but Milroe needs to receive some of the blame. For you, damn right he does. Milroe showed this game how inept his abilities to read damn coverages is. He could not get to his second, and I don't think I've seen him get to his third progression not one time during this damn game. Like that. His field vision was terrible. Those passes, out route up to the flat, and you let a DB pick it off. That ball, my grandma could have picked that ball up. It was so lazy up the throw. Listen, man, we all know he has his struggles, but the one thing that I wanted to see coming into this game, I wanted to see Milroe have an amazing game. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see him do something to improve his draft stock, because I don't want him to have any doubt in his mind thinking he might need to come back for another damn year. No.
Exactly.
No. So
exactly.
He should you know what he should do? I think Jalen Milroe should hit the transfer portal.
Hit the portal.
I think he should. I personally believe that Jalen Milroe should go into the portal and find a better place to get developed and be appreciated. I think this young man has gotten a hold of coaching malpractice.
Well, like I know, after a performance like today and the season, the knocks that he's had on him, today didn't do anything to help improve his draft stock. So he's in a position now to where a lot of people are going to tell him you might need another year. But that year does not need to be at Alabama. No,
it doesn't. I don't think so. I think he should move on.
The one piece of action, guys, that was cool though was watching James Smith go off quite a bit in the second half to where he's doing a somersault and Freddie Roach knocks over an official and gets called for a penalty. That's probably the biggest action right there. Like James Smith shows the bully in him. Freddie's like, yes, finally something, and knocks over an official, and there's a play.
But that comes back to being an undisciplined team, just like the penalty that 15 gets at the end of the game. Come on, Justin Jefferson, you swinging on the man. Hey, listen again. You're playing a physical contact sport. Things are gonna happen, but you swing on somebody and get a costly 15-yard penalty at the end of this team is so undisciplined. I haven't seen a team this undisciplined, probably since about the 2005-2006 season. It's been a long
I don't know.
time.
People said the same thing last year about the discipline part, though.
No, this team, they make so many mistakes in situations where you practice these. It's called situational football. You have periods specifically for this. And we suck at it.
Ain't no period for swinging on a player. I've never.
No, I ain't saying swinging. I'm saying when you practice those situations, though, when you're in specific situations to go out, you know this is gonna happen. But and they suck in situational football. They do. They suck at it.
Hey, can I ask the panel a quick question?
Hold on 1 second. Don Parker, I promised that $20 super chat. I promised that if Bama lost this game, I will go in. Today is a summary of the lack of playing to the standard all season long. I know it will not happen, but DeBoer needs to go. The coach we need is at Oregon. Smoke, what you got for me? Thank you for the super chat, Don.
You know what? Don just jumped into my question. How many of you guys believe that Alabama is going to be in a better situation moving forward with this staff?
With Coach DeBoer, yes. I think with Kane Womack, yes. I think Sheridan should be back to where he should have been to begin with, the tight ends coach, and we need another offensive coordinator and maybe a couple other position coach changes. Definitely some analysts that we need to look into getting, and then definitely somebody else at Milroe. And I think, or I said at Milroe, somebody else at quarterback besides Milroe, and I think we'll see some changes.
So I love those answers, CC, but what quarterback in the United States would you take over Milroe that you currently can get like right now?
He should have been pulled in that game. I mean, as bad as we were doing, it couldn't have gotten worse to some degree. The defense kept us in that game. I would have liked to have seen Ty Simpson get a shot. I would have liked to have seen Austin Mack get a shot. I don't see why. What's the point in them being there? He's not the only quarterback. We're going to get Keelan Russell coming in next year. I mean, look, what's the point in having them if we're going to be doing bad and we can't even risk putting in someone else? Are they not showing anything at practice?
Yeah, they couldn't have played a worse first quarter than Milroe did. So I don't understand this. The first 16 points came off of 43 yards. I've never seen that before. And if Michigan was a little more aggressive, maybe they put this game away in the first quarter.
True.
But you can't, because the defense basically stood on the field for the whole first quarter. We only gave up 3 points, the whole rest of the game. The offense has to be held accountable. And look, I'm not, one way or another yet on Sheridan, but you can all tell he doesn't have the quarterback he wanted. And we keep blaming the offensive coordinators all the way down the line. At some point, you have to say, okay, it stops here with Milroe. If every offensive coordinator he comes into, we continuously blame them, you got to blame the guy at the top. It's just like on this panel right here. If this show goes bad, Marvin, you the host, you getting the blame for it. When the quarterback who getting the most NIL money starts playing bad, why are we blaming everybody else for what he's doing out there? You saw Jeremy Bernard. Jeremy Bernard was ready to walk off the field today.
Can I say something about
Williams? Ryan Williams is
Jeremy
pretty
Bernard
mad.
This is his best statistical season ever in his life. Like this is it. This is the best that Jeremy Bernard's ever played with the quarterback that he's screaming at. Like this is it. ×2. He's doubled his yard, doubled his touchdown. Like he's played the best.
Yeah.
So it's at some point, and I get that Milroe, he stunk it up for the most part this year, right?
Yes.
For the most part. He played maybe 4 games that's worth talking about. But other than that, not so much. But I know, just evaluating like a lot of quarterbacks, you can win a national championship with a talent like Jalen Milroe. But you got to get the right people in place to harness his talent and get it going in the right direction. Like you're not going to find many quarterbacks that's that talented to play at the University of Alabama or any other school.
But Smoke, how many head coaches and how many OCs has Milroe had? Bill O'Brien, Tommy Rees, Nick Sheridan, OCs. Nick Saban, and Kalen DeBoer. I mean,
he was one play away from playing the national championship game last year. Like, we quickly forget, right?
I didn't forget, but we didn't make it. I mean,
I can't give Billy O'Brien credit because Billy O'Brien is one guy that purposely tore down the franchise by himself. Like, I know what Tommy Rees is. So and Sheridan is solid. I'm not putting the blame on anyone. It's a collective blame. But when you have talent like that, you have to find a way to win with it. Coach it up, get it fixed. It's not his job to go out there, call the right play, execute the right play, and score a touchdown. At some part, at some time, Like coaching comes into play with players.
It definitely comes into play because you look at the way Michigan was. They were blitzing. They were pressuring us when they weren't blitzing. That's coaching. The offensive line looked like trash.
Is Michigan quarterback better than Alabama's quarterback?
Well, Smoke, here's the thing about it.
They find a way, bro.
Right, but here's the thing. Michigan's quarterback gets hurt. He didn't even come back in pretty much the whole entire second half. They threw the ball 3 times the second half.
Yeah, so how great was the defense if they only threw the ball 3 times? This is a collectively below average season for the University of Alabama.
Epic fail all the way around, and it starts at the top with leadership.
There you go.
If Toyota fails, are they gonna blame the assembly line workers or are they gonna blame the CEO?
The CEO first.
Oh yeah, good point.
So I get Sheridan, I get Womack, and I'm still trying to figure out this defense. I haven't figured it out yet.
The defense actually played halfway decent given the circumstances and how many times offense turned the ball over. I'm saying with the situation that they were put in early in the game with those 3 turnovers.
Hey Marvin, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the run-pass ratio with Michigan right now?
Again, you heard me say, given the circumstances, okay?
They can't pass
given
the ball.
the circumstances. We all knew Michigan was going to run the ball every play. We knew that. But still, you had to stop it. And I'm just saying, given the fact that Michigan had the ball, Michigan's average starting field position was like on the 20-something yard line in the first half, bro. So for the defense to give up 16 points that first half with as many times as Michigan had the ball inside the 30, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So why not adjust your game plan and do the same thing Michigan did to play keep away?
It's called coaching.
And you also can't do that when you're behind. When you're down 16-0, you don't start to play keep away. That doesn't make sense.
But I'm talking about going into the game. Like everyone knew that it was going to rain. What's your other alternative plan when the rain starts coming down and your quarterback looks like he saw 10 ghosts and he got slapped in the face real hard?
I think then you go back to what CCU was saying and get a new quarterback, right? It's like you just make a lot of excuses from
he's
Milroe,
going around the world and doesn't want to
say
the rain on the wall. Like,
I don't understand why the only person you absolve of blame is Milroe in this.
And it's been like that.
Yes, you are. The only person you will not say anything bad about is Milroe.
And it doesn't make sense.
The man played bad more than 3/4 of the season. I'm just telling you that there are worse quarterbacks in college football that other people and programs win with.
That might be the case, Smoke, but what does that have to do with Alabama? We have quarterbacks.
Find a way to win.
So what you're saying is when our quarterback
time out 1 second. Time out.
That's a bad thing. I get what you're saying.
No, so the point that Smoke is trying to make is there are coaches who have a QB with far less skill set that is nowhere near Milroe's, but they find a way to win based upon that guy's skill set. What does this guy bring to the table that I can incorporate in my offense and go out here and successfully run my offense and win with it? And that's not what we've been doing.
That's what I'm saying. And if you fail with it, go with it. But you can't run your offense that you want to do, Sheridan or Kalen DeBoer, with a guy that skill set says no. Like I saw SMU's quarterback, Kevin Jennings. He ain't better than Milroe, but they won and went to the playoffs. Why can't you figure that out? It's not the player's job to fit into your scheme. Fit your scheme around him. That's it. And if he sucks, move on.
And here's the problem that I had with that, though, Smoke. The thing that I seen today, okay, we know Milroe likes to run the ball. Why are we not getting him on the perimeter? We see the offensive line is struggling with their blocking. Why are we trying to make him sit in a pocket that is collapsing in less than a second every play? Run some damn bootleg. Run some sprint out. Run some RPO. Run some things to work the defense from.
Hey, man.
Look, this is where it all starts with. I'm not even going to look at Milroe. I'm going to start with the big jokers up front. Recruit some linemen.
Big
linemen. Recruit some guys that can move, that got some feet, that are agile, that got punch strike, that got violent hands. Recruit some linemen.
You got two that's going. You got two. You got three that's going to the NFL. How many? You think you get 5? Proctor's going to play in the league. 52 is going to play in the league, and the center's going to play in the league. You can't win with 3 NFL offensive linemen?
Yeah, okay. Sin's been outstanding. Yes. I give Brailsford his. Pritchett 57 has been an issue all season.
Just like the rest of America.
At some point, you got to have a better right tackle out there. Proctor's good, but Smoke, we've all seen 7-4, and he goes against big rushers. They bend around him. He gets stuck. When you're
moving the guard.
Yeah.
You get stuck.
Moving the guard.
You got to get some tackles out there that when you're playing the Dylan Stewarts, when you're playing the Kyle Kennards, when you're playing the SEC rushers that look to take the top off your head, you got to be able to move. You got to be able to shuffle, establish, and move.
Seems like a personnel problem, Steve.
That goes back to coaching. That goes back to coaching. As a coach, I know what my roster needs to look like to run and execute my game plan to the fullest, because every coach's game plan philosophy is different. They're going to go find personnel to be able to execute what they want to do. If you don't have people to execute what you want to do, then you need to start adopting a new philosophy.
It's just hard. It's hard finding really good players. I can find a bunch of coaches. You ain't gonna find good players.
Well, we're still on the first topic, so I don't know how much time y'all have, but I don't have a whole lot. So
go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying.
This was a tough game to watch. So, anytime you struggle through something like that, that is brutal, so.
It's a good thing I got a TiVo this one.
Yeah. That was a tough one, bro.
All right, so coming out of this, what does Alabama need to do in terms of roster? Who do they need to go out and get on the late signing day? What do they need to do internally as they prepare for the spring? Because there's so many areas of concern on this team that need to be addressed. Stephen?
All right, so what they need to do, go out there, possibly in that portal, get you a right tackle. You need it right now. If the move is to have Proctor at guard, which Smoke, I can see where you're coming from there. If that's the better move, go out there, get you a left tackle as well. You got to establish you some tackles. The good thing is you get Parker Brailsford back. He's been rock solid as your center. You will have him back, but you need to get you some tackles. That's number one. Number two. Number three, you got to get you a presence on that defensive interior. I think you're more than likely you could have Tim Keenan come back. That's awesome if you get him back, but you need to have you another presence there on that defensive line. James Smith is growing. I like him, but you got to get you a defensive presence. With Tim Smith leaving, Jamarian Latham leaving, you got to get you an interior defensive presence that can strike some fear.
Smoke, what do you think that we need to do in terms of personnel to get this team over the hump?
All right, the first thing that I believe that you need to get a quarterback that can run your offense.
Amen.
Two, you need to get 2 offensive linemen that can protect that asset that you got that's called your franchise quarterback, wherever that is. Hopefully you find it. 3, you need to get 2 edge rushers that can actually close games out and put pressure on the quarterback, because I haven't seen that being done all year for Bama. And the last one, but not the least, you got to get some receivers that can actually catch the ball and be explosive, other than Ryan Williams.
Solid points. But also on top of those personnel decisions, I feel like we also need to make some internal decisions in terms of the coaching staff. Thishi, what do you think the moves need to be made on that side of the house in order to get this team to where we need to be going into the 2025 season?
Oh, she ready to tear him up.
Well, okay. I'm going to say this. Look, as far as the head coach, I can't say that I'm 100% ready to walk away from DeBoer, because I feel like there are so many factors that play into this failure that we saw this entire season. I mean, it's a season of failure, ultimately. We could talk about our game against Georgia. Yeah, that was a good game. But like we always say, we're not like these other teams. And y'all can be mad in the comments all you want to be. But at the end of the day, this is Alabama. We're still the standard. We just got to kind of regroup or whatever. But I still feel like the head coach side of things, as far as especially the contract that we have with Coach DeBoer, we can't get rid of him yet. So I think the key thing is going to be seeing what we do with offensive coordinator. I'm curious to see who we get, because if they say that we're going to keep Nick Sheridan, And that could be a game to me, that could be a strategic thing to do if we can't find someone else, because what that's going to show is if we keep Nick Sheridan at offensive coordinator, I want to see what happens with the other quarterbacks. So Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, Keelan Russell, because that'll let us know to some degree what the real issue was this year as far as, I feel like because when I think about like A/B testing and things like that, and I think about certain things from a different perspective, I feel like if you really want to find out what the issues were offensively, you may want to keep Nick Sheridan at OC, maybe bring in an analyst or someone who really knows what they're doing and see how he fares with similar play calling, but a different QB, because I almost wonder, you look at Keelan Russell and Austin Mack, there's something that DeBoer and these Washington people, even, you look at Courtney Moore, there's something that they see with them. And I feel like with Milroe, he's not bad at all. He's very athletic, very good at what he does. But I feel like it just doesn't fare in the SEC, and it doesn't fare with the matchups that we tend to have. So I feel like one or two things with the offensive coordinator, you could get rid of him, get someone who we know is better, who has a record that shows that he's better and also has experience in the SEC, or you keep him and you see what he does with these other quarterbacks. Because to me, that'll show what the issues, and we can't put it all on Milroe, of course, that wouldn't make sense, but that'll show us to some degree what the issues really have been and if they can actually turn things around, going forward. So those are the two main things that I would say as far as the coaches.
All right, JT, before you win the title towel promo, what are your thoughts on this staff and what changes need to be made?
Man. So, I'm going to piggyback off of what Smoke and Steven said to part of this. But right before I do that, I'm going to always go back to what Nick Saban said, because I kind of live my life by this. Never waste a failure. So you alluded to this season being a failure. Don't waste this season then. This coaching staff don't need to waste it. All this needs to be gunpowder. You need to be feeding these boys until September. All right, so we got to do some changes. Changes got to be made. I think the biggest issue is, and the simplest issue is, we need DeBoer / this coaching staff's players in the locker room, in the scheme, in the what they're looking for. Not some guys that were kind of already there. Nothing, no hate, nothing at them, but it just ain't fitting what the coaches want to do or correlating, and you can see it on the field. It's a tough one this year, man. It's a tough one. So I'm going to kind of just allude to that, man. I think DeBoer and this coaching staff getting their guys in the right places. I think Keelan Russell is going to be the first piece to that. I think that'll be the big one. I think he starts. I think we see a Ty Simpson era. I think it's straight Keelan Russell. And I think that'll be one of the big pieces there. But, guys, also, before we transition to the next topic, guys, make sure that you have your own title towel waving around, whether you're in Colon Coliseum watching the Tide play basketball, whether you're in Bryant-Denning Stadium. Make sure you are watching and you have the title towel. You waving around. Herb, you got yours? Because I'm on the road today and I don't have mine, and I'm on the road. Let's show the good people what the product looks like. Boom, there it is, guys. Don't be like me and forget mine at the house. You should have it super glued on your back. That is it, guys. But yeah, that's me. That's me, Marv, man. We got to get plug and play.
Thank you. Appreciate you, JT. All right, so now, I want to shift the focus a little bit. Are there any positives that you all can highlight from this game? Herb, start with you.
I mean, I still go back to the defense. No matter how much we tear them down, after the first quarter, it was great. And the first quarter, they just spent the whole time on the field. I even posted this at one point during the first quarter, our best offensive play would have been a punt, just because we would have made them drive. After that, it was just, you look at it, they posted the stat, 38 yards when they drove for the field goal was their longest drive of the game. So I give credit to the defense for being put in bad positions and making the best of it. And that's really my only takeaway. And I feel bad for Jeremy Bernard out there. I saw there's a little frustration. So I think he still came up big with catches late in the game. But my positive is the defense.
Stephen F. Smith.
I agree with Herb. I mean, positivity defensively, James Smith showed us something. Jordan Renard, big 90, continues to flash the potential there in that defensive line. Xavier Brown's growing. With each game, that young man's going to be something. Bray Hubbard, I'm so excited to see next spring with him as he becomes that leader there on the back end of that defense. So defensively, game by game, I like the growth there. Another positive, saw some good runs by Richard Young. And I'm really looking forward to watching him in the spring because I know a lot of people are saying Justice Haynes transferred, he's gone. Richard Young's like, hey, I'm here. And I'm gonna take advantage of this. So I saw some good things from Richard Young. I like that. Rico Scott got to go in the ball. He got open the last play of the game, and there were some moments where little Rico was like, I can make a play out here. So him, excited to see him. Jalen Mbakwe, a little bit on the offensive side, did some good things. I know he would have loved to have had that catch back where he was out of bounds. I know that kind of stings him a little bit, but we got a chance to see Bach kind of on the offensive side there. So I take those bits and pieces.
All right, CC.
Yeah, I would say offensively, it wasn't a whole lot per se, but to see us kind of utilizing the tight ends, not just for blocking, because that's something that we've talked about a lot on Crimson Dynasty. And you look at the seasons where we did go all the way, we won the Natty, we were able to incorporate the tight ends into the scheme as far as, passing. And so I believe it was it Robbie Ouz that got the touchdown?
Yeah, it was.
I remember correctly. It was Robbie Ouz, right? And I remember CJ Dupree. He had a good play, but I think he ended up fumbling the ball. But just seeing us work them in, and not just in terms of blocking. Now, I wish I could have seen, some of the other tight ends out there. But that's a positive to some degree, because I would like to imagine that the coaches that they're going to go back, to the drawing board, of course, and next year we'll see them actually do more with the tight ends. I mean, because you have Marshall Pritchett coming in, you got Jay Lindsey sitting out there, Danny Lewis Jr. decided to come back and get out of the portal. So, you don't want to keep having all these guys who have all this potential, but then we don't use them for more than just blocking. So I would say that in terms of offensive, like you mentioned, Stephen, seeing Richard Young and his explosiveness, of course. But then defensively, I would say also, of course, Jahad Campbell, he does what he does and does it well. But James Smith, for example, just that fire that he had. I believe also with defense, I want to mention the coaching side of things, because when you look at how we played against, let's say, like Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and even Missouri to some degree, I mean, a lot of us, we were ready to see Kane Womack go. And what I saw in the chat early on is that some people still want to see him leave. But I will say, at least we have seen some positive turnaround from him. I've seen some changes from him where I'm like, okay, I'm not ready just yet to say that he needs to leave. And that was completely different from what I said maybe about a couple months ago. So that's one positive thing as far as, the defense. So that's pretty much it at this point.
All right. Smoke.
Go ahead, Smoke.
Yeah, offensively, the two young receivers, Rico and Jalen Mbakwe, they showed you that they're explosive and they got some wiggle to them and juice once they do catch the ball. Defensively, I thought the defensive line showed up. I would love to see a more static front. And I know that that's probably one of my biggest hiccups. I just don't like seeing big defensive linemen moving sideways as much as we do up front. And I'm still trying to figure out
gaps.
Yeah, what's the purpose of doing that? I get it if you're at South Alabama or Middle Alabama or Alabama State or Alabama A&M. Shout out to Sam Shade for getting that job. But when you're at the University of Alabama and you're recruiting the best to do one single job. Shot, shed, locate the ball. Like there's no need for gimmicks. And the gimmicks should work. So that's where I'm at with it. But that's what I saw, and that's what I liked about it.
Probably one final positive for me, and I know this may not seem like much, but the kicker made a 51-yard field goal. Graham Nichols. Kicker made a field. Hey, for real. You had a lot of Bama fans that were like, Will Reichert's playing pro ball for the Vikings, foot and everything. What is this? What is Nicholson out here doing? The man that won the Groves a season ago. Nicholson goes out there, 51 yards, drilled. I'm like, there you go, Nicholson. Get yourself some. Get yourself some, boy. There you go.
All right. Well, we got a few super chats we need to get to before we get out of here. Let's see. Hubert 3343. Thank you, Jalen, for everything, but you left your defense out to dry. Kane called a hell of a game. Yeah. Don Parker, $5. Regardless of DeBoer's guy or not, if he can't build teams that dominate the line of scrimmage, then Bama will not win a championship. Very true. Mr. Kool-Aid Maker, Roll Tide. Really? Next.
I can't believe you paid. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Ray Parham, $2. If Milroe comes back, I'm gonna be real mad. Ray, you and me both. I will be pissed. But hey, we'll see what happens.
I agree.
And he's like number 3 on the draft board as far as QBs are concerned right now.
Keep him that way. Move him up.
Move number 1.
Yeah.
Just listen to you want a second or late first round quarterback to leave, and you can't win with that. We just want what's best for him.
The NFL is what's best for him. We're trying to help this young man out.
Based off what Alabama will be like next year with Ty Simpson at QB, and we need a better OC and still need a better D-line coach. Listen, I'm all for the OC part. Listen, man, that offensive play call was terrible. He does nothing to set his guys up for success later on in the game. As an OC, you need to call plays early in the game to set your guys up for success later on. He doesn't do that at all.
Right,
Marvin,
right.
Cece, isn't your head coach the offensive coach guru?
Yeah,
that was what he's known for.
So when stuff starts going bad, you'd hope that he could step in and say, "Hey, let me help you with this."
Right, like he should get on the field and throw some passes.
But here's
I get what you're saying about the OC, and I know that I'm probably one of the few guys that does like Jalen Milroe.
You're one of the few.
One of the few, and I'll remain the few, along with 29 or 20-something other NFL teams.
Mm-hmm.
That at some point, when you see this thing going sideways, and it's a good season, he won 9 games. Last time Alabama coach did that in the first year was like back in the 80s. So that's nothing bad for him. That's what he is. He's an 8 or 9 game win.
No, Smoke. The last time a coach did that was 1934, Frank Thomas.
Yeah, so it's a bonus for the guy. You guys got the best of the rest.
Can I ask y'all a question? Marvin, I think earlier you asked us about the coaches and who we felt like maybe needed to go or what changes. Do we feel like the O-line coach needs to be looked into? Did we?
Ding.
Yes.
I'm curious.
Coach Cap needs to be looked at as well.
But you know the problem with that? What they'll say? He's a hell of a recruiter. Doesn't matter how well you recruit if you can't coach them when they get there.
Yeah.
And Marvin, everyone wants to fire assistant coaches. If you keep firing assistant coaches, somebody got to look at who's hiring these coaches.
Yep.
That's my first look. I want why and who are you hiring? Like, I know what Michigan State's offensive line looked like in the last few years. I wasn't afraid of them.
So then another question, considering the timing of when Saban retired, and then we thought we had Ryan Grubb on our radar, and then he backed out. So I'm curious if some of the hires that we have, if it was more so a rush decision, maybe we didn't have enough time to go out and really look. So maybe we do see those changes. Maybe he has time to, kind of.
I don't think there was time to really do a search for anything. You had
that's
to
how
hold
I kind
the
of
class
feel.
together. Remember, because Porter opened just for us. So when he got here, it was like, all right, how many of these players can I actually keep here?
Right.
Put a whole staff
and then you
together.
had A-Day right around the corner hosting all these recruits. So it was just, to me, it seemed like it was a lot. I don't know.
Guys are doing the same thing I was doing a few minutes ago. You guys are making excuses for
No. The difference, see, we're objective, Smoke. That's the thing. We're objective. We're going to call a spade a spade. We're not going to sit up here this entire raggedy season, this raggedy QB stuff we've been seeing. At the end of the day, why are you running sideways? Run vertically. If you're going to run vertically. It's just certain things when you're doing your check that, like, my thing is like, it's the same thing. You don't have Jeremy Bernard in your face for nothing. That honestly, we don't see that happen a whole lot with Alabama. I mean, sometimes we do, but we're doing well. You don't see a wide receiver up in the quarterback's face like that, and then him sitting up there looking like a sad puppy with his head down. Call it for what it is. We called out the coaches. We called out the O-line. We're calling out everyone, but we still have to put some of the blame on Milroe. It is what it is. He regressed from last season. Normally quarterbacks at Alabama, they get better the next year.
He got worse because he's playing worse, or is he playing worse because of what he has around him?
He had 3 different coordinators in the last 3 years. I mean, it's not because I didn't like, we're not going to go back and forth. We just have to be objective. And I'm fine with saying Coach DeBoer, if his contract wasn't what it was, I would be saying he should be on the chopping block. Offensive coordinator has to go. Offensive line coach, I feel like he probably has to go at some point as well. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to call it for what it is. We can't sit up here and single out certain players and act like they're not a huge portion of why we've been failing this whole year. I mean, we either want to win or we don't. Making excuses for one player it's not gonna work with me. So I mean, I want us to go all the way. So
after year one,
maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right. After year one, the O-line coach ain't good enough. We can all agree to that, right?
He's not. No.
Okay. The receiver coach ain't good enough.
Honestly, Smoke, we can't necessarily say that because how many games have we had? We can't say that because how many games have we had this season where receivers were missed? You have Caleb Odom in certain games wide open, 6'5". He was missed. How many times have we missed wide open receivers? So can we really say that? Can we really say that?
Did Ryan Williams get better from game one to right now?
I don't think it's on him though. I mean, we've seen what he's
to answer
capable
that
of.
question, he got worse as the season went along.
Thank you. So okay. So did your running back? I'm just quality controlling everyone, right? Did your running backs look better than they did last year?
I mean, I could
They
say,
didn't touch the ball a whole lot.
it's not much at all.
I get what you're saying, but did they play better? Like when we all go through it, you have to vet everybody out and see what it is. Your O-line didn't play well enough. You got to put on your O-line coach. Mm-hmm. If your receivers didn't get better, you put it on your receivers coach.
But Smoke, that's where I don't 100% agree because how can we say that the receivers didn't? It's not, to me. You can't say it's not them getting better if they're not getting developed. They're where they're supposed to be. If they're not being seen, I don't know.
They're not getting open.
They're wide open. I mean,
today
some of them were open. They could have gotten the ball. I mean.
It's a collective issue with everyone. But if they're not getting better, like the players aren't getting better, like the players aren't gonna like make themselves good. Like at some point, that's where the coach comes involved into the development of said player. And if quarterback got worse than he was last year, can't look and say, "Oh, quarterback sucks." If the running backs look worse than they did the year before, like there's a constant thing that's going on. Did the DBs play better than they did the year before?
DBs are good this year.
Okay.
I'm saying, but you gotta look at Smoke. DBs are young and they grew game by game though. You look at Xavier. From the first game to right now, the guy got better.
I'm not disagreeing. Yeah. I'm just saying.
He's just not agreeing.
I'm just not agreeing. I'm not going to walk away and say the secondary play alignment was better than it was last year. Can't walk away with saying that.
And I'll say this: I'm used to old school coaching, old school coaches. I'm used to when you say a team has done well, guys have improved, that you see it translates into stats throughout the season. It translates in wins and losses. It translates in your pass rush percentages. It translates in how well you get off the field on third downs. There's so many stats that when you look at them, they'll tell you that these guys are playing at a higher level, that they're making progress. How do the guys grade out week 1 versus week 9, 10, and 11? And honestly, I can't say a lot of these guys on these teams' grades would have improved throughout this season. And if the guys' grades aren't improving, it goes back to coaching. I mean, you can blame the kids all you want, but here's the thing. The coaches are also the recruiters recruiting the damn kids. So again, if the kids aren't being developed, it goes back to the coaches. I played with several guys that could have been so much better. And they had great coaches, and they were just turds when they got shipped off. Also played with guys who were halfway decent, but they listened to the coaches, and they turned out to have great NFL careers, i.e. Jared Johnson. Like, coaching matters. It matters.
Evan Mathis.
It matters. And the coaching on this team sucks. It sucks. It does. It sucks.
So then it goes back to a point that I had made in the past. If you know that you've got a coach and you know that this coach gets the best. This coach may be a first-class butthole, but you know that guy is going to pull it all out you. You know he is. Why do you let that coach get away? Case in point, I was around Bo Davis. Bo Davis wasn't no candy striper, all right? But Bo Davis got out of here. I watched Sal Sunseri. That was the Italian mafia. But Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, they blossomed. The moment you remove Sal Sunseri, they both kind of dropped, even though they both went first round. So it goes back to when you have coaches that you know, hey, Rod Boy right here, he gonna get you right. You don't let that man walk out the door. You do everything you know. Hey, we got to keep this. We got to keep this. If we don't do nothing else, we got to keep this.
All right, we got a few more super chats that we got to get through. All right, Toast, 1999. Can't make adjustments, can't read defenses, can't read the pocket. Coach don't have the balls to take the player out. Costing the game only 12 carries total to the running backs is absolutely pathetic.
Said it right. I mean, he hit it on the head.
Hey,
I would definitely run the ball a lot more than we do, but hey, who am I? What do we got next?
Oh, sorry, that wasn't a super chat. Sorry about that one. That was just a comment. We'll go back to Don Parker's.
Don Parker, $10. I'm not saying DeBoer is a bad coach. I'm saying he doesn't belong at Alabama, especially when the ice cream truck show up to practice. They messed up Big Worms emotionally. They better not ever have another damn ice cream truck at practice.
You know what, man? I kind of want to go get me some of the extra sprinkles right now.
Lord.
J Ray 297 Abel 499. Saban has his assistants accountable is the difference. Saban held his assistants accountable. That is the difference. It's like the government job now. Y'all know what I mean, players and coaches.
God, no.
Man, yeah.
Professional certified hater. $5. This whole staff and all.
Is this you, Smoke? Is this you, Smoke?
Milroe style of play, and it cost them. How are you an NFL prospect, but you can't throw short to medium passes? Okay.
Jesus,
definitely ain't me.
Yeah, you got
professional certified hater again. Jerry Bernard was open the entire game, but that bum Milroe never saw him because he can't read a linebacker dropping into coverage. Running back with the cannon. Okay. Lorenz Moody, $5. The defense can't pin their ears back if there's a quarterback that can burn them. That helps ease the pressure off the OL. Milroe missed open players all year. That he did. Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Christian, 1999. I want Milroe to develop to the NFL and be great. But how many times does the NFL front office think they can take a QB and make them great, and it doesn't work out? When DeBoer had a passer, he is undefeated against Sark and Dan.
Yeah, I look at what's happening with the Colton Richardson, and that's what I fear for Milroe going to the NFL, to be honest.
No doubt about it. No doubt. You hit it nail right on the head. I'm telling you, I honestly believe. Go ahead, Don. No,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click on that one early, Smoke. Go ahead.
Are we going to speak on a 365 left tackle with no feet? And I'm telling no lies. Don, I said it last year when they put this picture up talking about how large the offensive line is, and my only question was, hell, what buffet are they going to kill? Because they clearly wasn't going to block no damn defensive line. Because as a defensive lineman or linebacker, if I see you over the 350, 360 can barely move, I'm finna eat your lunch. Because I already know you after a few series, you gas. You don't have no feet. All right, anything else?
You know what, Herb? I agree with you in terms of like Jalen's inability to play the game, shoulders up. Like he can't see it. He can't read the whole field. He struggles with certain second level droppers, right? And when you have that, don't try to make him do that if he's not capable of doing that. Just give him what he can handle. Just like the Colts, like you said about Anthony Richardson, he's not ready for the NFL.
Mm-mm.
And they're asking him to do things that he's not capable of doing yet, maybe never. So instead of allowing the talent to go out there weekly and expose himself and show everyone his weakness, hide those. That's part of your job. And show his strengths of what he can do well. And if the opponent allows you to make sure that you're not playing with one hand tied behind your back, then win the game. But when Wink Martindale knows what you're going to do and takes away everything that you like to do, then you got to have an adjustment to that.
Well said.
Oh, go to this next super chat, please. The one that just popped.
Okay.
God. Oh.
Professional certified hater $2. He just lost to a team that were passing off.
Great defense.
Oh, good God. Good God.
He said they turned passing off. They didn't even they disabled passing
on the game.
Everybody knew that coming into the game, Marvin.
Yeah.
Right. But
that part didn't surprise me at all when you talk about that. I knew, you saw the Ohio State game. They were just going to try and shorten the game, run it a lot, punt whenever they need to, be conservative. And we just handed them the game in the first quarter.
Yeah, pretty much. And when that quarterback got hurt, we all knew it really was no more passing at that point.
I don't even think they were sad when he got hurt. They was like, oh, well, now we can do what we wanted to do anyway. They was like,
hey, hold on.
Like the show goes on.
Did you not see like a small smirk on Coach Sharon Moore's face when it happened, though?
Bro, they brought out a quarterback that's in the portal right now to finish the game. They're just like, whatever, we don't care.
Yeah.
I think the issue is bigger than what y'all speculating on, Bama fans. I think this is worse. It only gets worse from this point on.
Well,
it's been a hell of a run, and I made a lot of friends the last 20 years.
The best is behind you.
Well, I guess I'll get to Dale B's question. How many Bama players will be drafted this year? Let's see. 6.
This question just makes me sadder.
Booker. Yeah, Booker.
Booker will go.
CJ Dupree.
CJ will go. Oots will go.
Campbell will
go. That's 4. Malachi Moore will go. That's 5.
How come y'all haven't said Milroe?
He's not leaving.
Please, God.
If he does, it's a bad decision, buddy.
Please, God, make my New Year's prayer.
Hey, James Burnham will go. There you 6.
Bad decision if he gets out of there. Oof.
All right.
I'll take my chances.
Marvin.
All right, Jeff Merriman. Milroe is a great athlete, runner, and person. He should be converted to a running back, not a quarterback. The coaching staff will not make it in the SEC. The team that buys the right players with right coaches, will win a natty.
Hey, is that what Bill O'Brien said a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Well, Greg Byrne is begging folks to give right now.
I know. He passing the collection plate around.
Yeah.
You know
if you
what?
pass the collection
That's
plate
a
to me,
great
I'm
point
taking
that you
some.
made.
I'm taking money out. If the plate comes by me, I'm taking some money
Look,
out.
hey, Herb. Now you on that race stuff. You taking the money.
See, you made a good point. I think it went over a lot of people's head.
You agree with me for a change?
Whoa! We need to frame this one, edit it, cut it out.
Nah. Go ahead, say that again. Say that again.
What? About what?
Bill O'Brien.
Oh yeah, Bill O'Brien made that comment a couple years ago that Milroe would be a good running back. Now I don't know what you going at with this, Smoke, but
No, I'm not. I'm just.
I don't know what you could. Let me guess. You're gonna say, well, if Bill O'Brien said that as a coach, then as a leader, he should have developed plays around Milroe. Is that what you say?
They said the same thing about Lamar Jackson.
I mean, but come on, Smoke. 3 years.
And I saw Greg Roman develop a system that made him win the NFL MVP. Cater to your system, man. If he's a running back, run him.
Don Parker, $5. Let's keep it 100. Milroe not able to read a defense is all on the coaching staff.
I don't agree with all that. Combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it goes back to the fundamentals, right?
Villanto. $5. All 45-star linemen Bama has at some point. Coaching and player development has to be looked at.
Everybody's acting like this coaching staff has been here for years, though. So
yeah, I'm with you. But you saw this train going the wrong way when Nick got out of town.
Yeah,
Gary Kelsey, I think that's how you pronounce that. Cleese. Sorry for the mispronunciation if I'm mispronouncing that. This is just a new college football NIL transfer portal and finally some significant games in Big
Ten country.
Oh, Big Ten country will bring the Big on par with the SEC. Okay, whatever. We hear you, Gary. All right, we hear you. Next.
There's some truth to that. There's some truth to it.
Yeah.
Ollie, 1999. Coach KD did solid his first year, but I need him to grow a pair. And if the player is not playing bad, pull that ass out. Okay. All right.
I think he's trying to say if the player is playing bad, and pull him out.
Yeah.
And I think today should have been one of the first days that Milroe should have gotten pulled.
First.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have happened before this game. Tennessee.
No, hear me out. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have gotten pulled in Tennessee, but I'm just saying when you have 3 weeks or whatever to prepare your team to play, there's 3 more weeks that you had with Ty Simpson that you didn't have all year. So you should know a little bit more or even have a game plan to say, you know what, Ty's going to get 15 plays this game.
Right.
Just so I can prep him in case Milroe leaves.
Right.
So when Milroe is playing bad and looks shaky like he usually does when he makes mistakes and nobody calms him down and reset him, then you bring Ty in and you say, Ty, run these plays and let's figure out what happens. And if Ty's hot, you run with him. And if you lose and if you win the game, it's easier to say we're moving on from Jalen Milroe. But at some point when you're the leader,
I agree with that.
You have to make big boy and tough decisions.
And that big boy and tough decision should have been made when we played Tennessee. We could have moved Jalen Milroe out and put Ty Simpson. At least we would have been able to gauge and see how does Ty Simpson perform on the. I mean, we couldn't have done that.
I'll say specific to this game. I know like Cam Ward got a lot of flack because they pulled him time. But if I'm the coaching staff, I kind of want to see what my possibilities are next year anyway. So I would have had a plan to have Ty Simpson. And so I agree with you on that one, Smoke. I would have had a plan anyway to say, hey, Ty, you're getting a certain amount of burn in this game no matter what happens. And then it was the perfect setup for it. That was one of the worst first quarters I think any of us have ever seen. We didn't really improve in the second quarter. Ty gets some run. That's what I would have done too. So I agree.
With all that said, like, and we're giving so much credit to the coaches, they know what they have. And if they're not playing their best and allowing your team to lose because the best that you have to put out, they're not playing really well, what does that say about your backup quarterback situation moving forward?
All right. Well, we're coming up on 1 hour, so we need to get this thing about wrapped up. Nick Beasley show, $4.99. I think Milroe will be a good QB in the XFL, but the NFL will make him change positions.
Maybe.
Professionally certified.
Who is that?
I don't know who this
Who's
is,
behind
man.
this account?
Professional certified. Hey, the breaking news. Jalen Milroe just overthrew a receiver. All right.
Again.
And I think this your last one right
Parker, now. Coach KD did solid. With the roster, he loses to what? Coach KD did solid. Oh, he's questioning the solid. Yeah. With this roster, he loses to Vandy. Only kick a field goal in Norman, gives a game to Rocky Flop and Bolos against Michigan. I mean, those are valid points.
Do y'all almost feel like Coach DeBoer kind of has like the demeanor of like, I'm just ready to get this season over with so we can move on to the next?
Yes.
It almost comes across to me because to be honest with you, when I was watching the game today, I felt the same way. I'm like, look, Lord, just protect them, keep them, make your face shine upon them. But let's go ahead and end this.
I was watching him walk up and down that sideline, and the thought that popped in my head was of Al Bundy on Married with Children. He just had that look like Al used to have when Al was just ready to go home, or when Pig was getting on his nerves. That's who he looked like. And I was like, yeah, this man is over this.
There's nothing that's happening in Washington that can prepare you for the SEC or for the Alabama fan base when things go wrong. Like and I like DeBoer. That's not a shot at him. I like DeBoer, and anybody who's willing to step into Saban's shoes, man, I have a lot of respect for, because there's a reason why a lot of people are going to turn down that job. Nobody wants to. We're talking about firing him halfway through the next season and going to get somebody else. I don't know who people think are going to step in once you fire the new guy halfway through the season after replacing Saban. But
look, DeBoer,
I got a lot of respect for him.
DeBoer this season looked like the mom in the grocery store with all her kids, and she's going to go, and she look at them with this look of, God, if y'all touch anything in this.
Does anybody feel like Kalen DeBoer was the assistant head coach to Jalen Milroe, the head coach of the University of Alabama?
I feel like that.
That's what it feels like.
I feel like he had a little too much power for sure. Yeah.
Like he was scared or something. Like, I mean, it was just raggedy, just all around.
It's literally because I've been in press conferences with both. And Jalen Milroe, it's the same thing. He will say the exact same thing over and over to the point where I can get down verbatim what he says. He'll start off with what's about falling back on your preparation. You know, we have your short-term goals and your long-term goals. And we have your short-term goals and our long-term goals, because we have so much football left to play here, guys. I'm like, it's the same thing. You're just
you don't. Not he done. He can't. But he can't say that today, Stephen. He ain't got much more football to play in Alabama.
He repackages that statement every time. Yeah. And DeBoer, it's the same package statement. Well, you know, our guys, we went out there, we tried it. You know, we did this play. We thought it was going to work, but you know, it didn't quite work how we thought it was going to work. Those guys fought hard though. They just fight so hard. They fought so hard.
Look, Stephen, you can't forget the ultimate line. I mean, we have a few guys who really want to win it all. Like a few, it should be all of them.
I could see Smoke's point of you have the head coach who's playing the role of assistant coach, and the quarterback is playing the role of the head coach.
But you got to question why. I mean.
Yeah. You got to ask, but we have 3 more super chats to get to real quick. All right, Tony Benzino. Milroe is one-dimensional. Cut off his run game, and he is lost. He can't read the coverage, but Ty Simpson must be bad. Great.
And JT is not a big Simpson fan. He
great job today, defense. Okay, next one. Jeff Merriman. These programs are not going to set players being paid millions of dollars for a backup. NIL is ruining college football with no rules attached. Yeah,
can't get over that one. Stephen M. You're the only guy that's seen both Milroe and Ty Simpson practice this year.
Okay, correct? I have seen them. I've seen them both.
What have you seen from Ty Simpson that makes you feel like, you know what, 2025 is our year?
What I've seen.
Please lie to me, Stephen. I need hope. Lie to me. I don't care.
Look.
Tell me he throws great both hands. I don't even care right now.
I'm not gonna say he's ambidextrous, because he's not. But what I do see is he looks off his progressions and reads much faster than Milroe.
Okay.
I have seen Milroe stare down in practice. Stare down Ryan Williams. I'm like, dude, take your eyes and move to option 2.
No.
I have seen Milroe stare down Germ. I'm like, I know his name is Germ, but he don't got that much bacteria. Move your eyes over here.
Like, do we need to get some hand sanitizer?
At least with Ty, I have physically watched Ty go, okay, Germ's not open, peek. Okay, Ryan's not open, pop. I have seen it. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. Yeah. I have not seen that consistently with Milroe. He'll have one pass where he'll go through that whole progression. And then 2 passes later, you're like, Shagan, son.
So there's hope. There is hope. There you go.
There's hope. There's hope.
Don Parker. DeBoer didn't score 3 TDs for Polk High in one game. Too busy getting 31 flavors.
Done. This is one thing done. I can try to assure you. I can try to make sure there's no more ice cream trucks on this campus.
It looks like we just got one more from Snail's World. I miss AJ McCarron's passion at QB. He would let everyone on offense know when he wasn't happy with someone's play. Very true.
No.
That's true.
I for one can remember AJ getting ticked off. I remember Jake Coker getting ticked off at folks, even though he had all the freckles in his face. Jake Coker had no problem getting in your face. So yeah. I can even remember Blake Sims getting ticked off at times. No crazy.
North Alabama says Lank is dead.
Oh, man. Looks like we got one more super chat from Nick Beasley show. So what I'm hearing is Ty. I'm right. Ty is better. Is the better QB.
He's better at the fundamentals. To me, that's what it comes down to. The fundamentals. Look. I don't care what nobody have to say. The fundamentals matter when it comes to your football IQ, especially in the SEC, whether it's Austin Mack. It's something about Austin Mack that they like, and I feel like we saw a glimpse of it. I wish we could have seen more of it, but that's the thing. You don't really have much to go off of. I think, like you said, Steven, Ty with his progressions, that's a huge part of it. Why have all these good receivers? Why bring in Isaiah Horton? Why bring in all these different guys if you're going to just look at one guy? If I'm Caleb Odom, I would have been pissed off too. I'm 6'5". You can't see me.
Right,
this is why. Before we get the super chat, and I love you, Jimmy Klein. This is why this spring is gonna be something. Yeah. This spring, because everybody's eyeballs are gonna be on King and Russell as the early enrollee, but this spring is gonna be something at quarterback.
And I said 2 weeks ago on Crimson Dynasty, I hate to see Jalen Hale get hurt because I really like him and I think he's going to be really good. But I was somewhat glad that we didn't risk losing him because he didn't get too many receptions like the other guys. I feel like we could have lost him. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. I feel like he would have been discouraged in the type of crap that we saw this season. Unfortunately, he probably would hit the portal.
I'm happy he was out there practicing.
Yeah.
All right. So we are officially at time. Before we get out of here, again, y'all are very familiar with this all, but we're gonna go around this room real quick. Give those social media, those handles for all of you who want to follow us. Sishi?
Yeah, you can find me every Wednesday night on the Bama Standard Network right here. I have a show that I actually host called Crimson Dynasty, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're uncut, we're unfiltered. We like to keep it real there, so be sure to check us out. We will not have an episode tomorrow since it's a holiday, but we'll be back next week. And then you can find me on X at official Sishi without the apostrophe, and then you can find me on Instagram at beauty_of_intelligence.
I'm about to jump all over your stuff and just get
you jump all over and you're gonna get bounced right off if you come with that mess. I don't look smoke. I got the smoke today. I don't want to hear no mess because I know how you are. I appreciate a lot of what you say and your expertise and what you've done.
You don't agree with it.
The only part that I do not agree with is the laxity, the somewhat I guess sometimes the excuses. No, I was about to say laxy daisy, but sometimes the excuses that we've had, that y'all have had all season for Milroe, like I want to see him do great, but I'm going to be honest about it. Like, it's just not Alabama standard. And I don't like how sometimes, even especially the post-game show that we had when we acted a fool in Norman, Oklahoma, the way that y'all set up here and kind of skated around Milroe being the issue, he should have gotten pulled. But see the part, and I'm not going to go off on a tangent, Marvin. I'm going to wrap it up.
You've never heard me say that.
And I'll give you that, Marvin. You're one of the ones who is very objective, and you have to be, but we're not going to sit up here and play those games. Because see, honestly, that's how you get stagnant in your growth and in your development, is when people sit up there and make excuses for you. You have to hear it. Just like how Jeremy Bernard got in his ear today on live TV. Like, that's embarrassing. It shouldn't get to that point. Stuff like that, it should not get to that point. They should have been celebrating. They should have been having a good time in their last game with Milroe at Alabama, because it better be. They should have been able to enjoy it, and he had to get in his face. That shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. And I'm done. I'm sorry, Marvin.
All right. Herb,
I'm sorry.
where can people find you? Herb?
Hold
At Raj_Herb on Twitter. Unlike her, you can follow me and I'll take all that smoke. That's fine.
I'm not gonna take it.
And Herb and Raj podcast online. We do our live show tonight. Usually it's a Bama Standard show at the same time. So at least check us out, catch out the replay. We'll be all right.
I'm about to go crazy in yours right now too.
Bring it on. Bring it. Hey, look, I like the attention. So bring it on, man. If you don't have any haters, you're not doing something right. So,
Chris, we do not have the same Instagram name, sir. You are an Auburn fan. We could never. Like, it's not one of the same, sir. Y'all, when the last time have y'all been like even relevant in terms of the playoffs? Like, we're not the same, sir. Y'all are lucky to be in the state of Alabama because
give it to him. Let me unfollow you right now. So
Smoke, how can the people find you, Smoke?
Hey man, at Coach Smoke GVD, and I just hope that Keelan Russell comes in and he is ready to play quarterback and needs no coaching, no development, no proper structure, nothing. Because if he does, we might be telling him to leave. But that's on me, though. Next.
Stephen M. Smith, what do you got for me?
You can just find me floating at Coaching M. Smith on X. Just find me floating on YouTube. Find me floating right here. Find me floating trying to make sure that DeBoer, no more ice cream chokes this year, bro. That's you could always find me, being the right hand man to smoke.
All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Marvin Constant. This has been the Bama Standards post game show. Unfortunately, the game didn't go as we thought it would go, and the show had to take a sour turn. But life happens. But with it all, roll tide. Have a blessed one.
2025. It's gonna be new.